forest, walking on a trail here, and spotted some reishi. So I just want to give you a quick pass by of what you would see if you were walking on the trail, so that you can test your reishi identifying and spotting skills. So hopefully by now you've at least seen one, but just take a quick look down there and see how many that you can spot. So there's one back here, and then 2, 3, 4. And as you can see down here as well, they've already spored. So we're going to go down here and take a look and see if these are specimens that we're going to be able to harvest, or if they are too far gone or infested with bugs. Alright, so here we are down at the site. As you can see, the brown dust covering the tree, covering the leaves around it, and then over here you can see it as well. You can see the brown dust of the spores that they released, and that's really something that would be cool to see in action, because basically the spores come from the bottom of the mushroom all the way over to the top. So it's kind of just like a puff, and they just come out and come over to the top, and sort of are also just spread throughout the surrounding environment. And that's how reishi reproduces. So it'll eventually land on and infect another decaying log, and then the mycelium will colonize the log, and then eventually it will spawn this fruiting body, which it will use to reproduce. So based on these trees and what I'm seeing, this looks like it's Ganoderma lucidum, which has a slightly different shape and grows on slightly different trees than the Ganoderma suge, which we'd found before. So now I'm going to dip down and take a look and see if these are going to be usable, or whether or not they're actually infested with our good friend the reishi beetle, or the pleasing fungus beetle. Alright, so here's our bounty, our final harvest. This guy here ended up producing 3 in 1, which is pretty cool. You can see that. And now that the sun's out, you can actually get an idea for the shininess that the mushroom is famous for. And as you can see, pretty perfect, beautiful specimens. You see the shininess there. You can see sort of the brown coating on top, which is the spores. My hands are actually a bit covered. That's like the little fingerprints on there that you can see. But these are really, wow, I mean, it's pretty perfect if you ask me. And this is just after hiking for 20 minutes or so. We spotted these, and now have 1, 2, 3 plus 4. So 7 or so really nice reishi specimens. And again, following our similar trend, it's right here on a trail, where it's tall trees, shaded, right by a stream, then on a fallen log. And again, I think these are lucidum instead of the suges, because they do look a little bit different. And I think this is a slightly different tree, but it's hard to tell because the tree is sort of rotted and covered with moss. So this is just another example of where reishi can grow. And hopefully you've been able to see and really train and hone your eye for being able to spot these. And it's something that just takes practice, and then over time you really get better at it, and can begin to spot them from pretty far away. Alright, so hopefully you can hear me over the nice waterfall here, but as we're coming around this trail, you can see that right there. Spotted more reishi, and if that wasn't enough, we went ahead and spotted some more, which, if you can see, these things are huge, and they look pretty perfect too. You can see them right there, right by the waterfall, so you can only imagine the kind of energy that they have. And this tree, as you can see, goes on for quite a while. It's a pretty big tree, probably a lot of intelligence in these mushrooms. So let's go up, have a look, and see if these are in fact going to be usable. Look at that, you can even see little babies coming out. So these look like they're going to be okay to use. That one's a little questionable and there's like a lot of bugs around, but just kind of a funny thing. I'll come in right out of here and then boom, reishi right there waiting for us. Alright, so here we are at another tree, which we actually just walked right past and didn't even notice. But this area is like ripe with fungi. So if you look up this tree, you can see, maybe you can see, depending on the light, this little silhouette of another fungus popping out of it. I don't really know what that is, it just looks white. But then I looked back and noticed, oh wait, there's definitely reishi popping out of this. But as you can see, our good friend, pleasing fungus beetle has come and made this his home. You can see under here, typical infestation. Then over here, a slug of some kind is on the reishi. Over here, I think that's another slug hanging out on the reishi with the beetles. You see a little baby reishi there, but this tree is just covered with fungi. And you can see a little more nodules about to come out. But even this guy here is just a really nice specimen. It might be just a leaf with a beetle. I'm going to try to pop under and see if it's any good, but I can't really tell from this angle. So there's, I'm going to zoom out a bit. And as you can see, we just sort of walked right past it. But then back here, this is what really caught our attention, which I don't really know what this is, but this is in fact some other sort of mushroom. It looks like more of a ground mushroom, obviously, but it's coming out of the roots, and I touched it, and it's soft. It's definitely not a polypore, meaning, you know, hardwood coming outside of a tree, but it is in fact a fungus. So yeah, reishi is just coming out everywhere today. Alright, so here we are again, walking on another trail. See if you can spot our friends through the bush here. How many can you see? There's definitely 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 down in there. Hard to tell from this distance, but I think I might see some beetles, which isn't surprising, because quite a few of the spots we've been finding recently have been already too far gone or infested with beetles. But it's just kind of what happens. Kind of to be expected when you're out here. So I'm gonna hop through this brush and see what I can find out for these mushrooms. Actually, yeah, I see our beetle friend right there. So I'm not even gonna go down there, to be honest, because I have a good idea what we're going to find, given that there's mature beetles. So you can see this tree here, quite a large tree, and then some pretty large specimens down in there. So again, you can just get an idea of how easily you could just walk right past this and not even see. So it's really important that we start training your eye. And I just spotted another huge patch just right here. This is what happens. You see that? Right through the brush. I just happened to turn around, and then there it is. So just as I'm telling you about the importance of keeping your eyes peeled and training your mind, I spotted this massive patch over here on this tree, which looks like it might be hard to get to, but I'm gonna have to go over there and see what I can do. Alright, so here I try to make my way over to this tree, and you can see it is just massive over here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, the more I look, the more I see. It's just obviously it's going to be a little bit problematic and troublesome to get down there. And I can see plenty of mature beetles, so I don't know if it's even worth the trouble. But as you can see, there's some really large mushrooms down there, really shiny. You can see now the sun comes out, but they're just like picture perfect mushrooms. But you can see right there is our good friend fungus beetle. But some of these might look like they're okay, so I'll see what I can do. Alright, so yet again, another reishi harvest. These look like they actually are good. So I'm just gonna dip in. Up there's our good friend. He's just coming out to say hello. Our good friend Fungus Beetle. And yeah, we'll see. There's a couple under here actually. Let's grab that. Oh, well, never mind. There's even more beetles. So I guess we'll never know the fate of that mushroom. Alright, so I just walked like 5 feet from the last tree and spotted another tree covered in mushrooms. And then over here you can see some that are already kind of rotten, but down here through the brush you can see even more. But what's really cool is that there's one right here that looks perfect. Like you can see it shining in the sun. You can see now it's where the name comes from. And then oh my god, that one is so big. Look how big that mushroom is. Pretty nice. And then just walking a few more feet, we just look down the tree and it's covered. And this is literally like 5 or 10 feet from the last one. So you can tell if you come out at the right time, you're going to be coming out with a lot of reishi mushrooms. Alright, so I just wanted to share this tree with you that we just spotted. I don't know, I'll try to zoom in, but you can see mushrooms at the bottom and going all the way up the tree. You can see more there, and then all the way up there, and it just keeps going. But those are really too high, and I don't think we're going to be able to get to them, even though they look really quite nice, bright red and shiny. But it's just another way that the reishi can manifest, so definitely be on the lookout for that as well.